Hello and welcome to a new episode. Today we will be looking at Braids Arisen Nightmare, a really cool 3 mana 3/3 with an ability that doesn't seem obvious where you should really go with it. So essentially it reads, at the beginning of your end step you may sacrifice an artifact, creature, enchantment, land or walker. If you do, each opponent may also sacrifice a permanent that shares a type with it, and for each opponent who doesn't, they lose 2 and you draw a card. So it's a little bit of advantage here and there. The way to make advantage of this as best as you can is to include cards in the deck that create more than one thing when they come down. So stuff like servo schematic, it comes in, you get a servo, and also if it leaves you get a servo. Same with Mere Sire, Gleaming Barrier gets you a treasure, Jadar gives you zombies, so on and so forth. Some of the best stuff in the deck, stuff like Sanguine Brushstroke, because this gives you an enchantment, and it gives you the Blood Artist itself and a blood token. So this is a 3-for-1. The Lolth is also a 3-for-1. It gives you 2 creatures, and when those creatures die, increase the loyalty on Lolth. So yeah, as long as you've got ways to just increase the number of output of permanents you can sack, the better. Rite of Balzanok's awesome as well. This essentially creates 6 things for one card over 3 turns. Really powerful. So we use Braids as kind of like a draw engine rather than like a sacrifice engine, because most of the time people aren't going to contribute to sacking unless they're really spiteful, and I've seen people do that, and I think it's the wrong move to sack anything. I think the opponent should just continue to take 2 life if they want to play against this in the correct way, but you know, sometimes stopping you from drawing a card can be really important. The deck list will be in the description below. It was a really fun deck to build, and just kind of like a nice nuanced card from the latest set. Not massively powerful, but I just respect the fact that it's kind of like a mid to potentially high tier commander. So check out the gameplay, don't forget to like and sub, check out my Twitch and my Ko-fi donations page. If you want to donate, get on the link in the description below. You can donate as little or as much as you want, and it really helps the channel, so really do appreciate if you do take a look there. Let's get into the games. Okay, opponent goes first with Beladros Witherbloom. A very powerful card that lets them untap all of their lands. We do have the Duress and Thoughtseize though. So that's one half of the combo gone. If they have the other half, then we've saved ourselves from that. Pachuca Bog exiling 1 card isn't that effective, really. So they've got like a lot of graveyard things going on here, potentially, with the old Ancient Green Warden. A lot of different directions. Life gain. We shall see where they're going with this. So let's go for the Braids. We can attack with the Direfleet Hoarder. Migration Path in response. Not really sure why that was needed, but... So I'm wondering now if I should actually save... Yeah, I'm actually going to decline this, because next turn, if we go for the Phyrexian Tower, we can use this to sack the Direfleet Hoarder instead. I think that would be better use of the mana. So first let's swing in with the Braids. Yeah, Veto is definitely very scary. Basically gives your lifelinkers double strike. Okay, we'll use the Tower. Sacrifice the Hoarder. And then now, yeah, I think we'll go for the Elders Reborn. That seems legit. And then, yeah, let's Thoughtseize as well. Get rid of something from their hand. 3 mana left, so yeah, let's get rid of the Death Sprout. That's going to ramp them to another mana as well as kill our guy. So once we've got rid of that, looks like they're pretty screwed here. Although they did get the 4th land, so they can play the Sangromancer. Their deck hits in a lot of different directions. We're going to make them discard another card. So the Elders Reborn is really showing its power off here. Go for the Sanguine Brushstroke. And we can even go for the Soul Guide Lantern to exile something from their graveyard. So I think we'll get rid of the This is interesting. Get rid of the Exquisite Blood. And then don't attack. And then now we can sack the Lantern to potentially draw another card here. Oh yeah, I don't think they can respond yet. That's good. Now let's hope they don't get any more lands, otherwise they'll be casting more things. Came and tapped, so they can't even go for the Grey Merchant. If they do get one more land, they will be able to cast the Ballistic Citadel, which is a huge problem. They might Field of Ruin the Phyrexian Tower, yeah. That's exactly what they do. It's slightly annoying because it did ramp us, but it's okay for now. And so we're going to resurrect something in our turn. We'll have to have a look and see what options there are here. So we've got the Ancient Green Warden. Yeah, I think that's good. That can also block the Sangromancer. And we can also play the Phyrexian Tower. So let's do that. And then swing in. And we might as well go for the Dread Presence here. And then we'll sacrifice the Blood Token to draw another card and make them lose 2 more. Sleeper Dart's going to be good as well later on because it can make sure something of theirs can't untap. So they've got their 6th land, so now they can go for the Ballistic Citadel. But they only have 12 life. So it's half as scary as it could have been. They've already played a land, so a land on top means they're screwed. Interesting, so they're plumbing the Forbidden, which actually drains them twice for each trigger there. And they're just dead, aren't they, unfortunately for them. So we actually get 2 triggers with the Dread Presence because of the Ancient Green Warden. That was pretty cool actually to see that happen. Okay, it's been a while since I've faced a Slug Architect. This is going to be interesting. So Slug Arch cares about lands. Whenever land is put into graveyard from anywhere, put a counter on Slug Arch, and then you can remove 3 counters to return it to its own hand, and then when it leaves the battlefield, return the 3 lands and go over to your hand. Okay. We do have the Soulguide Lantern here, so this is going to be invaluable versus a graveyard synergy like this. Soulguide Lantern comes in, exiles at 1 card. Discard a card, create a token that's a copy of a random creature card. Maybe a Vig, okay. So we can't actually destroy that, but let's draw a card with the Eye of Vecna. Okay, Swamp is fine. Oh, a random creature card. How big is the pool for this? The pool for this must be ginormous. Kind of scary as well, like the fact they can just get... At one point, they're just going to get the best... Comes tapped, create, okay. Strange. Yeah, let's go for Braids, and then I'm happy to sack the Eye of Vecna. And they can feel free to sack the Pool of Vigorous Growth, which they do. That's a bit weird. So they paid 5 mana to get that, and they're kind of happy with that. Okay. So they basically don't want us to draw any cards, fair enough. I don't want to attack in case they've got any kind of pump spell. Or sack a cleric. If they sack a creature, then something weird's going on here. Why would you... The only downside is they lose 2 life, and we draw. Do they understand how this works? I'm not quite sure sacking those 2 was really worth me not drawing, but... Weird. Next turn I'm going to Cruelty of Gix, I think. Or we could even Linear's Contract. So any cards that are permanent essentially fit in this deck that give you value. Okay, Grim Tutor as well. So do we just kill this? It can't be blocked. Yeah, let's go for the Cruelty. Starting from phase 1. Or chapter 1. Oh, let's get rid of the Gargaroth, definitely. And then we can attack with the Braids. And then, yeah, we'll sack another creature. Now, if they sack the stowaway, then something is very strange. I really don't think it was worth sacking the Pool of Vigorous Growth, to be honest. This is a May. This is not a mandatory ability. On scales, so they could attack here. So we could even go for the Solgard Lantern to exile the lands from the graveyard eventually, but they've got Time Warp in hand. So I kind of want to tutor for something like a hand disruption. 5. What's on the battlefield? We could just go for Liliana. I think that's probably the better option here. Because if they have an extra turn, that's fine. If they don't have anything out on the field, of course, doesn't really make a difference, does it? And that was enough to just dominate that game. We go first against Elenda the Dusk Rose. Pretty powerful commander. Starting out is almost unplayable. I mean, we do have basically 2 mana and loads of 2-drops though, so we'll see how this goes. Got a little bit of sort of ramp card advantage. We'll see. Vicious Conquistador. So there's a Vampire Tribal deck. So if we go for the barrier, we can block the 1, but not that bothered about that. I think we'll go for Dreadhorde first. Getting this out early is really important because not only does it give you a blocker, if the Amass token goes untouched and you get a 6/6 and attack 1 or 2 times, you can really sway the games. Vicious Conquistador comes in, makes us lose 1. They don't have any white mana yet. You don't have to worry imminently, but they could have one next turn, go into the Elenda. So we need a way to exile this, because if she dies, they get loads of tokens. They're not Reaper. Interesting. Okay, that's fine. So definitely play a Swamp. We could go for the Braids. Yeah, I think we go for the Treacherous Blessing here. So this will make us drain life, but eventually we'll be able to sack this with the Braids anyway, and then they'll be able to... we shouldn't lose any more life from this. We will lose 2 a turn at least, as long as we have these 2 out for now, but for now, we can take a little bit. Lurrus, oh, that's pretty rough. Lurrus is a must go, so that's 3 and that's 3. So we can just get rid of odds, I think. Yeah, let's just get rid of the odds here. Get rid of any value they may want to get from those, because those 2 out, yeah, pretty ridiculous. Because with those 2 out, that means every turn they can cast the Conquistador, sacrifice it for 2, draw a card, so on and so forth. You get the picture. Black Market Connections gives them a treasure, and that will give them white mana so they can cast Elenda in the next turn. For now, so we've got 5. Yeah, so we can, I think, Signet and then Braid, sacking the Treacherous Blessing, I reckon. I don't really want to lose too much more life from the Blessing, to be honest. So yeah, any cards that come down and have an inherent downside are fantastic in this deck. This deck is inviting you to cast some of the most damaging things, even Dreadhorde Invasion. If this starts killing you, you can get rid of it if you need to. So they went for all 3 modes, it seems. Going down to 12. We both have a lot of cards in hand. Do they just go for the Braids? They did lose 6 doing this. Sorin? So Sorin could just sack the Shapeshifter to kill the Braids, or maybe the Zombie, but... Okay, which one are they going to go for then? I think for Braids. Fair enough, okay, sure. So we're going to swing at Sorin with a 4/4, which is fine with me. We've got 7 mana, so we could just go for Braids again and a Mearsire. This can deal... No, this gives us the 1/1. We can't buff it to do 5, so let's just swing in. Interesting move.
Show some respect.
So 5, 6, 7. We could just go for the Solemn this turn. Let's draw with the spare supplies first, I think. Golden Egg. Yeah, let's just establish more creatures. Solemn gives us another land. So we can start playing around with our resources next turn a bit more. 6, 7, 8 mana next turn. Having the Braids out just means that we're just going to target that as well. Annoyingly, the Black Market Connections gives them bloomin' changelings, which are also vampires, which is very irritating. So we'll have to see if we can get through this. They can also gain 3 every turn with a Sorin, so by making this guy for 3, they're basically not losing any life, because they lose 3 to make the 3/2, but then Sorin can sack it to deal 3, gain 3. So this equalizes, it becomes a lightning bolt every turn, which is really annoying. Welcoming Vampire. This is something we're going to want to kill eventually, because that's going to draw them more cards. We do have the answer with the power word kill, which luckily doesn't say non-vampire. That would be an issue. But it does mean that the shapeshifter is actually immune to power word kill, because it's all creature types, including cheese monkeys. +1. Okay. So they've got all sorts of stuff. When this dies, they get token. Goodness me. So many things. I think we kill the Welcoming Vampire. That's a must. And then we've got 4, 5... Bastion. Yeah, let's go for the Bastion. So they're going to have to double block if they want to kill this. And then, yeah, I think what I'm going to do is attack Sorin with both, because it means they have to block both. Otherwise they lose Sorin. Okay. So they get a token, but none of this happens with the lender out, so it's all fine for me, really, to be honest. Draw a card. Land is fine. So yeah, let's go for the Messiah, and I think we'll go for the Gleaming Barrier as well. So just lots of blockers, lots of ways to drain them if we lose any of them with the Bastion out. So if they don't deal with this zombie army, next time we're going to swing with a 6/6 lifelink. They've only got 2 life left, which is incredibly risky. Unless they use Sorin here to sacrifice. Now, the other strange thing here is that if they kill 2 of our creatures, they just die to the Bastion of Remembrance. How are they going to get out of this? I think one of the few answers would be Farewell. Here comes the lender. I could just kill them with a Sign in Blood as well, which is something I've done a few times before on the channel. Oh, when it happens, it's quite amusing. The Phyrexian Tower can sack to give them 2 black, makes a lender bigger. Okay, so they think they're going to be able to... This is interesting. So they attack with these... Yeah, there's a lot of maths going on here. 5, 4, attacking with all of those. They're going to drain us. This is interesting. Death Touch Lifelink. Okay, well I think we just block here then. They'll lose, so they'll gain 5. Interesting, the math has changed again. Yeah, that was definitely a huge turn there for them there. They're at 8, but now we have a lifelinker that threatens them, so they're probably going to have to... Let's see if they block here. Go straight into them. So we get lifelink, so we go to 18. Block with a Sanctum Seeker, or maybe they don't block it all. If they don't, then they just... Wow. Yeah, we'll go for the Sanctum Seeker here. The lender does stay alive. Maybe I should have killed that, but they would have got so many tokens. Tricky one. Very tricky indeed. 8 mana. Let's use the Sign in Blood here. Murderous Rider. Baleful Mastery. There we go. Exiles the lender. Perfect. So they don't get any of the tokens. And I think I might just Murderous Rider the Sorin as well to stop them gaining life. Because that is pretty annoying, not going to lie. just cripple their resources. So we drew very well there, very well indeed. So now they're only making a modest. Damn, they took 4 life. Okay, they've definitely got balls. Six life, no life link. Elena does give them life link. Can we break this? Whenever another creature enters, each opponent loses 1. This is quite scary as well. And a Legion Lieutenant. Oof, okay. Down to 6. We're down to 14. So we block with the Messiah. Okay, so they've got Ajani. It's Pride Mate, so lifelink matters. We'll block this. We'll drain them for 1. And we get a 1/1 replacement as well. Land comes in. So can we survive another hit? They're at 5. None of these have lifelink themselves, do they? So I think we'll go for Braids here. We want to start getting some advantage out. And Treasure Keeper for a blocker. No attacks. And then we'll sacrifice the spare supplies. So they may just lose the treasure, which is annoying. But that did cost them 1 life, I suppose. How low are they going to go with this Black Market Connections? Okay, down to 4. So if we lose all our creatures, they die, because they don't have any lifelink on the field currently. Oh, it's very tense. Very tense. Yeah, the sign did a lot of damage. They're going to join us for 3 with the Vampire Sovereign. 4 with the trigger. Okay, up to 7. Damn, these creatures are huge, aren't they? 6/5 Changeling, 4/3. I guess this Lord's making them bigger as well. Can we survive another turn? Remember, if Treasure Keeper dies, we cascade into something that costs 3 or less. So that could be a removal spell, something useful, another blocker perhaps. Oof, Taser. So this causes triggers to double when their stuff dies. They're choosing to attack Vigilance lifelink. They've got lifelink because of the Taser. That is really irritating. I think we're just going to triple block the 6/5. So we'll take 4, gain 3. Yeah, pretty annoying. The Taser Karlov is coming in clutch there, giving them lifelink. Going to really struggle to get through them here. I was hoping the Black Market Connections might be killing them a bit sooner, but yeah, stuff like lifelink, so powerful. They're choosing to not kill the Treasure Keeper. That's very strange. Okay. So let's go for the Golden Egg, draw a card. Come on, give us something good. Sure. Not the greatest. So we can sack this to gain 3. I guess we'll just go in with everything. Black. And then we'll not attack, because we need to be able to gain life for the Vampire Sovereign. And the turn. I think we'll get rid of the Cold Steel Heart here. Cruelty of Gix. Probably not very useful. We could just use it to return a creature from the graveyard to the battlefield. Anything useful? Sanctum Seeker. Nothing majorly useful. Damn, yeah, the Taser Karlov is giving them so much life. Bolus's Citadel. Yikes. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How low do they want to go, though? Campbell. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, this is really bad. If they play one more thing, they can just sack 10 things. 3. Blood Artist. Yikes. Yeah, I think they just win here. This is, reminds me of one of my decks, actually. 9. So yeah, they just outright win here. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They can just sack all the creatures. They drain us for like 20 here, I think, because of the Blood Artist. Yeah. That was pretty lucky to have Citadel into Campbell into Blood Artist, have to say. Cool, yeah. Sometimes you just get pretty unlucky. We were hanging in there pretty well. Man, I feel like this is slow rolling here. Surely the targeting is quicker than that. Oh well. Give them the pleasure. Yeah, didn't even get to the 10 damage from the Citadel. Yeah, cool. Good game. Moving on to the next one. Opponent goes first again, which is quite common, with Hapatra. Golgari snake tokens with -1 counter synergy. A lot of different directions. I have a friend in real life who actually made this into a demon snakes build, which is very, very different. Very nice, very powerful build. It's always nice to see people taking things in different directions that are seemingly very linear. But yeah. Who knows what variety this is. Probably just the bog standard one. That's all we seem to be seeing. Feed the Swarm, probably going to come down if they... Interesting, Dark Ritual, okay. So they've got 4 mana here. Black Market Connections, well that's still going to see Feed the Swarm, I think. Get rid of that as soon as possible. Interesting how they ramped with the Dark Ritual only to get +1 mana. Yeah, strange. Oh well. They obviously really needed it, just like we do here. So I'm going to have to do this to sign in Blood. And then hopefully draw a land or 2. Okay, that was very lucky there. And then now we can also go for... So we can go for the Murderous Rider to just straight up kill this. Yeah, I think so. The Spider is very good. Very powerful card indeed. So it says whenever it deals combat damage, put a -1 counter on a creature. So it's got Wither, essentially. Whenever you put 1 or more counters on a creature, each opponent loses 1 life. And you gain 1. Let's Golden Egg. Come on, draw us a land here. Okay, no land. So they've got technically 5 mana if they play an land. Okay, give a Patra. So we're not dead. It's just a real shame we've missed 2 land drops, naturally. Okay, we hit 1 there. I suppose the scriptures could be nice. Let's see if this sticks around. And also, let's see if people read the second phase of this card, because you'd be surprised the amount of people that just skim over that. It's a card that I'm really starting to... Okay, they just played straight into it. I guess they're going to ramp. But they already had 1 there anyway. They're going to lose a snake. I couldn't tell you if they did this on purpose or not, but... Okay, so they're going to get 3 treasures. What do we do now? So we go for Braids. We can sack this, because don't really care about the graveyard, do we? Yeah, I think that's the play. Not too bothered about stage 3 of this going off. We've definitely got our pick. We get a Servo here when this comes in or dies. Drawing cards is lovely. So 6 mana, what are they going to do here? Or possibly just kill the Braids right now. But they will be using the mana. Oh my goodness. They just used all of the mana for that. Yeah, fair enough. They halved their mana doing that though. So I think I'm actually okay with that play. Really? Are they going to kill these as well? No? Okay. Solemn's good. Let's get some more lands out. There's no need to rush at anything else yet. If I was more patient, I could have gone for the Dread Presence first. And then played the Solemn next turn. But the chance of the Dread Presence surviving is quite low given they're a Golgari build. Having all the best removal spells. They're probably going to have Casualties of War, which is something that I get hit by every freaking day. Hapatra for 4 mana, that's interesting. I think we just make them exile it here. because who knows what synergy they have with -1/-1 counters. We don't want them to kill our precious little servo, do we? Not Mr. Servo. And Bastion seems good in case we lose creatures. We're going to drain them for one of each. Yep, so this deck is kind of like eggs, kind of like aristocrats, if you know what those are. If you don't, it basically means lots of little things that come out and do lots of little things over time. More than the sum of the parts. Oh, that's a shame. They missed out their 5th and 6th land, so they had to quit. Makes sense. Ah yes, Joda the Unifier. Here we go. So Joda's the new Kolos, basically. Incredibly powerful, OP, silly card. It's almost like they said, the last Joda wasn't broken enough. Fist of the Suns on a Joda. And now they've got Cascade on a Joda with coat of arms. Okay, we've got a great start though. Next turn, probably go for Braids. Sack the zombie. We've got mana up though, so it's a bit scary. I think we'll go for the Sanguine Brushstroke first. Might let us just drain them for a bit. Protection from board wipes in a weird roundabout way, I suppose. Jadar plus Blood Artist is just awesome as well. Basically a 3-2 with Blood Artist out. Certainly a clock. Look at the size of that clock. And then we get a replacement zombie as well. What more could you ask for? Well, I guess 2 zombies, but that would be a bit too much, I think. So the thing about Joda is it does cost 5 different colour mana, so let's see if they can get lucky. Probably got a ramp spell here. Chainer's Torment is quite nice as well with Braids, because once you get to phase 3, it does create your horror, and it drains you for half your life. But if you're clever with the Braids, you can just sacrifice it before it gets to that point. And then you won't have to lose half your life. They've got a removal spell, something. They're looking at the Sanguine Brushstroke thinking, Helios Intervention. Okay, that's an interesting... Okay, yeah, I don't know what to say about that. Yeah, sure, why not? So, yeah, let's go for Solemn. I feel like that was a very early trigger finger there on the old Helios Intervention. Who knows what other treacherous artifacts I may have had out later on, or enchantments. Doesn't really do much doing it at sorcery speed either. Probably should have waited to see if in my turn I played something better than that. Yeah, that was a bit of a mistake, I think. Cartographer's Survey looks... gives them 1 land. Okay, sure. So if we go for the Scriptures here, we can protect something, stop them from casting something else. But then we'd lose our Jadar and or the Blood Artist. Is that a good enough preventative measure? I think so. Or we just go for Chainer's Torment. Yeah, let's just go for this. I feel like showing them this, maybe a bit too soon, really. Also, maybe it would be good to get this horror. We'll see. So far, we're just killing them with commons and uncommons, really. Which always feels good, you know, Blood Artist, Solemn. Solemn attacking in for 0. Sorry, Blood Artist swinging in for 0. 6 mana open, what's it going to be? Joda with mana open. That's interesting. Can we just win this turn? Do we just win? They're down to 5. Do we win? Let's just attack with everything but the Blood Artist. So I presume they block the Jadar. Although this is lethal, right? So they have to block. Actually, I think they just die, right? So they'll take 4 here after everything is said and done. Why did they... Okay, so gain 2. Okay. Down to 4. Down to 3. How do we... So go for the scriptures. Counter on the Blood Artist. Do we play the Shambling Glass? It's gonna, yeah, actually we do, because if it dies we drain. Yeah, so next turn. So they kind of have to kill the Blood Artist here, unless they exile all our creatures. We'll see. Also, if we have Braids out, we can deal to an extra turn. Yikes, okay. So they're going to get to Cascade into Mox Amber. Sure. They get an extra turn. They return the scriptures. Interesting. That is interesting. Now, it's a shame because we can't block with this zombie, but if we could, we'd just win if they attacked. No, I think we could just take the 6, yeah. If we could have blocked with all 3, that would have been a perfect scenario there. So, yeah, that is annoying about the Fraction Scriptures, but this does have an artifact counter on it, so if we can redeploy the Scriptures, then we can save another creature. Because then it will put another, essentially, artifact counter on something. It's kind of interesting. This came out way before ability counters did. Damn, of course, they had to have the Temporal Sundering, didn't they? I think the Tamiyo's safekeeping actually saved their life, to be honest. What do they get here? They get this. Okay. And the Ratadrapic. So these are all humongous. And a Jetmir. Right. Yeah, so I think they just die, which sounds crazy, but they don't have any lifelink. So, yeah. We can basically attack with our 3 creatures when they die. Trample. Don't have any lifelink, do they? No, no lifelink. Let's just activate the blood. Get rid of the scriptures. See if they get anything better than that. Signing blood! Are we going to win in the Silent Blood? Down to 7. So we almost got crushed there. So let's go to attacks. I don't think there's much they can do, is there? Just attack with those 3. If they block, they die. If they don't block, they die. GG. There you go. The power of Blood Artist. Sometimes just really powerful, just sitting, waiting in the wings. Don't forget to check out more of my videos, and also my Ko-fi donations page. You can donate as little or as much as you want.